Hello there, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talkin Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. And I want to start off with just a couple of quick remarks regarding the variety of comments related to stories that I've been telling of late. In particular, if you might recall, after his recent loss, I called out John Ryder and suggested he might want to hang up the gloves and begin to work with youth. I mean, he's 35 years of age, and he has announced his retirement. I'll get into that in a second. But out of that comes other, related stories, such as Teofimo Lopez, who retired and is now fighting Jamaine Ortiz. That's upcoming. We'll talk about that as well. And most notably, very recently, Shakur Stevenson, who said he is retiring, and Teofimo Lopez himself has some comments about that I want to divulge today. So after scouring across the world, across all the headlines and reading these stories, I'm bringing what I think are the most relevant to you. Let's start off with some results out of Tennessee, featuring an unbeaten bantamweight, Ryan Shaw. He's now 7-0. He stopped a chap by the name of Vit Y. In round number 2 on Tuesday night at the Texas Troubadour Theater in Nashville, Tennessee. Shaw hurt Y to the body, then teed off until the referee stepped in at 1 minute 4 seconds, as I said, of round number 2. Also in that fight, by the way, another unbeaten lightweight, Iman Lee, 9-0, and Devon Jones went toe-to-toe, 6 hard rounds apparently, with Lee winning it by majority decision. Super lightweight, Terrell Bostic, he's now 10-2, took a narrow 6-round unanimous decision over Pedro El Gago Hernandez. Hernandez dropped Bostic in round 6, but it was too little too late, and scores were 57-56, 57-56, 58-55. So a close one, but nonetheless, Bostic came out on top. Another unbeaten unbeaten lightweight, Luis Rodriguez Fernandez, 13-0, won a 6-round beatdown against Javier Frazier. Fernandez stopped Frazier in round number 1, but the rugged Frazier stayed in there for the full 6. Featherweight, also on the card, Elon De Jesus. He's now 6-1-2. Knocked out his opponent, Usai Johnson, in the 3rd round. De Jesus dropped Johnson in round number 1 as well and laid him out in round number 3 with a right hand. Go looking for that clip. It's going to be a beaut. All right. WBO junior welterweight champ, as I mentioned before at the opening bell here, Teofimo Lopez, 19-1, will defend his world title against Jamaine Ortiz, 17-1 on Thursday night. That's coming up soon at the Michelob Ultra Arena in Mandalay Bay Resort, down in Las Vegas. The fight will take place 3 days before the Super Bowl in the very same city. The Lopez-Ortiz matchup is going to be broadcast on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. Said Lopez, I'm a big clown of the sport of boxing. I've got to make everyone laugh. I've got a big nose for a reason. It's great to be back. I'm glad to see the talent's coming through, but this is only the beginning for me. I'm 26 years young. I'm not even in my prime yet. We've had a tremendous dance partner, and he's wanted this fight for a while, and we're doing our thing. Said Ortiz, quite the opposite, I think. He goes, there hasn't been respect. It's a fight. I'm coming here to take his head off. It is what it is. There's calm before the storm. You got to know to keep control of your mind and body, especially before you go into battle. I feel like I'm going to be the guy having the clown do whatever I want to do. It's going to be that kind of show. As I said earlier, John Ryder has retired after his most recent loss. He did make a personal mention on social media, of course, but at least he had the guts to stand up and say, hey, man, I've retired from boxing, but not entirely, because he is going into the gym as a coach, the Matchroom gym, that is. He did take the time out to thank his whole team. We often talk about fighters going into the ring on their own. They don't. They have a team that supports them, especially in professional ranks. And he took the time out to thank Matchroom, especially Eddie Hearn, Barry Frank, his trainer, manager Tony, and Charlie Sims, as well as strength and conditioning coach Dan Lawrence. So, it is important to realize that when these guys do decide to retire, it is a serious decision, and they have to make it public so that these chaps and ladies who are working with them understand that they too can move on and focus on other fighters in their stables, as opposed to fighters making announcements on social media, or fighters who don't make any announcement whatsoever and just sort of drift away, leaving their team dangling without knowing what is really in the cards for the future. So in this respect, I'll tip my hat to John Ryder. He gave it his all. He said his final comment was, although my professional career as a boxer is now over, the sport won't be able to get rid of me that easily. And I look forward to officially starting my new career as a coach, working alongside Tony at the Matchroom Gym very shortly. There's no place like home. So some good comments, some fair comments, some respected comments out of John Ryder. Some news out of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's been reported that South Africa's number one fighter, Kevin Lerena, he's 30-2, and is the WBC interim bridgerweight champion, will be fighting at the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh on March 8th when he meets unbeaten Australian heavyweight Justice Huni, 8-0, on the undercard of the Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou heavyweight fight. The current WBC bridgerweight champ is Lukas Rosinski, 15-0, from Poland, who's reportedly scheduled to face Oscar Rivas in Colombia on August 13th. So despite being one of the two top fighters in the bridgerweight division, Lerena, he's 31 years of age, has decided to move up in weight class to the heavyweight to fight and keep busy, quite frankly, and earn a good purse, I might add, on the international stage, and going up against some pretty decent competition. As I said, Justice Huni, he's a great fighter. We've been following him for a long time from down under, and he's going to make it's going to be a great fight. Let's put it that way. Speaking of great fights and great fighters, a good story out of Japan, the Shigeoki brothers. They're going to defend their belts together. Says our good friend Joe Kazumi out of Tokyo. The unbeaten Shigeoki brothers will make their second defenses on the same bill in Nagayo, Japan, March 31st. WBC minimum champ Yudai Shigeoki, he's 8-0, by the way, 26 years of age, will risk his belt against Filipino ex-titleist Melvin Jerusalem, 21-3. Also, IBF 105-pounder Jinjiro Shingioka, he's 10-0 with 1 no decision, by the way, 24 years of age, will put his belt on line against another Filipino, Andales. So good stuff. And that rivalry continues, by the way, that we've been following for a long, long time between Japan and the Philippine fighters. Good stuff. Let's have a quick note here to move down a bit and move on to the WBO, who's issued a statement regarding banned substances. I'll just read you the keynote here. WBO advisory notice. Please be advised that in the event any WBO champion, male or female, tests positive for any banned substances, it is not necessary that the WBO demonstrates intent, fault, negligence, or knowing use of the fighter's part, considering that it is the fighter's duty to ensure that no prohibited substances enter his or her body. Fighters are fully responsible for any prohibited substances found to be present in their body. So, powerful words. All right. Speaking of words, here comes Teofimo Lopez. I said earlier, he said, with respect to retirement at a press conference held recently, he believes that Shakur Stevenson's decision to retire was based on his unwillingness to accept a pay cut from top rank after his lackluster performance against Edwin de los Santos. WBO light welterweight champion Teofimo says that instead of agreeing to the pay cut, which would have been a bitter pill, 3-division world champion Shakur, 21-0, retired. Stevenson would have seen his earnings reduced if he'd chosen to fight with Top Rank. I'm sure he still will, and I'm sure he will come out of retirement very soon. if you might recall the De Los Santos fight in November, is rumored to have been very low in ticket sales at the T-Mobile Arena and was booed loudly by fans for running around the ring. Bob Arum of Top Rank says Shakur was contacted by the WBC, who asked him if he was going to be retiring, because if he was, they would take his lightweight title from him. And he said he was not retiring. So he says after that performance, he pulled off, and that stunt. Top Rank said, "We're not going to pay you what you had last time." He said, "Fuck this. I'm the best. I'm going to retire with it," said Teofimo Lopez to Fight Hub TV when asked about his thoughts on Shakur Stevenson retiring recently. So again, he said, "I wish him nothing but success and the best, but you can't. You've got to take the cuts. That's what it takes." Teofimo continued, "They can only build this for so long, and then it comes a point where you hit the elite level. That elite level doesn't go like this vertical. You've got to start climbing up this way, an incline to the top. The matchmakers of all genres and promoters into the networks build the fighter with confidence. However, it's not confidence until you let your hands go to the elite level. That's when it's confidence and cockiness. And what is the difference maker? A prime example is Keyshawn Davis," he says, "the businessman." So for him, it is confidence or cockiness. Well, we'll find out the next night when he fights, said Teofimo. So some, I suppose, words of encouragement for Shakur Stevenson to get back in the ring and earn the money. And by earning the money, that means you got to be entertaining. And let's talk about entertaining. Ben Whittaker. There has been quite a response about this young man who we were following in the prior Olympics a few years ago. And since turning professional, he's got now a 6-0 career, but most recently hit the headlines, and I mean exploded across social media with respect to his, what they call, showboating in the ring against his opponent. Since turning professional, I might add, he's now coached by Subriel Stewart, the nephew of legendary trainer Manny Stewart. And Stewart, by the way, has quite a stable of high-profile fighters, most notably WBC heavyweight champ Tyson Fury, who we'll get to in a sec with some interesting quotes. But anyway, Ben Whittaker, he has something to say. As I said, he's made quite a stir. Okay, so he goes. The attention's been global. For instance, American star Shakur Stevenson, WBO lightweight world champ, messaged Whittaker on social media saying, "I'm a fan, champ. I love how much fun you have while doing your craft. Tell them if they don't like it, step up the competition so you could do that to them too." Good. So what does Whittaker say? That the style that I do is actually just my style. I'm not trying to go viral. I'm not trying to get likes and things like that. Of course, it's a compliment, but I'm just being me. It's a good response, but I've just got to keep the level headed, keep my feet on the ground, and make sure I cut no corners. I'm just trying to be myself. You only get one career. I'm just trying to have fun while I'm doing it. Everybody's got their own opinion, and I'm excited to see where it goes. When I do actually box and switch on, I do believe there's not many people that can box like me. I've got a really good boxing IQ. Sometimes I do get a bit carried away. I maybe had a bit too many Smarties in the changing room before the last fight. But like I said, it's just me enjoying myself, having fun. I just can't wait to show when I'm at the top level my actual real skills. He said, "When I was a young boy watching professional boxing, that's what got me into it. The whole occasion, the ring walk, the kit, would they come out with, things like that. I mostly sometimes think about the kit and the ring walk these days, sadly, and then I let the team come with the tactics. At the end of the day, these fans are paying their hard-earned money. They're coming out to see a show, and that's what we've got to do, and put on a show." So a great response from Ben Whittaker out of the UK, who we've been following for many years here on Talkin Fight. And I provided a clip in my last episode to his showboating. You have to watch that clip. Google him, or you go onto YouTube, find it, or go to my last episode, go to the description, click on that link. It is fantastic. It really is. Speaking of fantastic fighters, IBF super lightweight champ Subriel Matias won't be fighting Teofimo Lopez in his return from injury, but he'll at least enjoy a homecoming. El Nuevo Dia reports, and Jake Donovan confirms, the plans are in place to put Matias against Liam Paro this summer in the former's native Puerto Rico. Per El Nuevo Dia, the fight is 90% done, and Paro, 24-0, by the way, 15 knockouts, has accepted all the terms. Donovan adds that Matias, 20-1, 20 knockouts, now a free agent after fighting out of his contract with PBC, is still negotiating a deal with Matchroom, as that would open the door for potential unification with Devin Haney. Fight fans would obviously be very much in favor of that. So anyway, it's not the blockbuster matchup we want for Matias at this point. But as I said, you got to wiggle with some of these other fighters who are in the ring making their own levels of exposure in the fans' minds. Anyway, let's see here. Paro is a very credible opponent, says this writer on badlefthook.com, by the way. Wow. Okay, not to mention Matias, fifth undefeated for the last 6 fights. The 27-year-old Aussie is on a career best run after clobbering Brock Jarvis in 2022 and subsequently beating down Montana Love last December. So by first fight back after injury standards, that's more than palatable. So we look forward to seeing that fight confirmed. We've talked about Subriel Matias for a long time. It's going to be good to see him getting back in the ring and smacking some people around again. All right, let's have a quick look at other people who are smacking people around. That would be Tyson Fury. Out of boxing 247.com, our good friend James Slater writes, right now, all fight fans, all boxing experts, and plenty of other people in between are asking one question. Will the already twice postponed heavyweight unification showdown between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk actually happen on its new date of May 18th? So many people seem to doubt it will, and with good reason. If a fight can be postponed twice, why not a third? Also, as numerous fans have posted on various forums, there is a real sense of the Usyk-Fury fight being cursed, as in cursed to never happen. We've seen it before, but under different circumstances, with the massive, too big and too lucrative for it not to happen Lennox Lewis versus Rick Bowe fight, ultimately failing to go down. And who can really blame so many people for feeling it will be same with this heavyweight blockbuster? Without a doubt. Fury, as we all know, bailed on the December date. After that, he was lucky not to have his arse handed to him by pro boxing debutant Francois Ngannou in their October battle. And then Fury suffered a freak cut in sparring, as I mentioned the other day, and this seeing the February 17th date come crashing down. Usyk and his team are taking no chances regarding the May 18th date, by the way. You may have read how Turkey Al-Sheikh has put in place a clause that will see either Fury or Usyk, if they pull out of the new date, May 18th, have to pay a whopping fee of $10 million. And let's not even go there as far as what would happen if either guy suffered a genuine and 100% legit injury prior to May 18th, such as a broken hand, and was rendered unable to fight. But according to Usyk's manager, Aegis Klimas, it was their idea, but their demand. But this clause was put in place, with both unbeaten heavyweights agreeing to it. It was our request when negotiating. Klimas said of the enormous $10 million penalty. We said to the Saudis, if you're going to move the fight, make sure you include the penalty. And Al-Sheikh apparently agreed to the terms. Why wouldn't he? So again, to ask the questions on everybody's lips, will the third date prove productive, or will the gargantuan fee of $10 million have to be forked out due to one of the two fighters pulling out? Well, you can offer your comments at any point upon hearing this, but let's hear from Tyson Fury himself, who made a brief announcement to the press, I suppose, that's going not viral because not too many people are interested in what could be, should be, might be. But then again, let's see what Tyson Fury has to say about all this. He goes, after this upcoming fight in May against Usyk, he goes, then I'm going to fight AJ at least once, maybe twice if there's a rematch. That's if he wants one after the first battering I'll give him. And after the domestic dust-ups with AJ, Fury plans to exact revenge on the man who gave him his biggest blacks to survive his undefeated career. That would be Francis Ngannou. And then he continues, then I'm going to fight Ngannou again. And that's just the start. So Tyson Fury, by all accounts, is ready to get back in the ring, stay in the ring, and retain his championship status after taking all the belts, apparently, if he in fact fights Usyk on their new date of May. So there you go, fight fans. All the news fit to print. Thanks for joining me once again. I really appreciate it. I'm on at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, here on Talkin' Fight. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and do hit that notification bell. I'll see you again in 24 hours.